started. You guys in the hallway, I don't know if you want to come out. Margaret, Chris, I'm going to call you out. So this is the cozy Greater Lafayette Resistance Fair. These are the diehards who came out on a snowy Saturday. Congratulations. And congratulations to Ezra, who came here all the way from D.C. this morning. But I think Marcus, our Indivisible organizer, wins the prize. He drove here from Ann Arbor, Michigan, so. All right, so thank you all for coming to the Greater Lafayette Resistance Fair. A year ago, I stood up here at the first Greater Lafayette Resistance Fair, and I told you guys my story about being in a fetal position on election night and finding Indivisible and connecting and realizing I needed to do something, and it led up to the first Greater Lafayette Resistance Fair. So let me tell you what happened after the fair. The next Monday after the fair, I walked myself down to the county building, went to the 4th floor in the elections office, and signed up to run for office. And I spent the summer registering voters, campaigning, and knocking on a lot of doors. And I'm happy to say that last Tuesday was my first meeting as Tippecanoe County Council member, representing District 4, which is the city of West Lafayette. And a lot of other great people ran, and I think we really made a difference. One of my favorite sayings was Alana Stonebreaker said, when you knock on a door, maybe you don't change a mind, maybe they're not going to vote for you, but you restore people's faith in democracy just a little bit. And that's why she does it, and that's why we do it, and that's why it's worth it. So I hope you think about that, because I find that very inspiring. I hope you are inspired by some of the stuff that you see that we did here in Lafayette, what Indivisible has done around the state. Ezra's going to talk a little bit about what's going on in a national level. And with that, I think we'll get started with the first video. And by the way, my name is Lisa Dellum. For those of you that don't know me, I should have introduced myself. I am the president of Greater Lafayette Indivisible. So with that.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right. I'm so glad to see that you all made it out in this snowy weather. I'm Kirsten Reynolds, and today you're going to hear a little bit about how you can help with the resistance. I'm going to talk a little bit about how being active in a resistance group can actually help you. One of my favorite prayers that I use when I'm distressed is the serenity prayer. And it goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And for some 50-odd years, that has brought me solace. But in 2016, the day after the election, I was lost. I was in despair. I was pissed. I was terrified. The portion of the prayer that says to accept the things I cannot change, I said, hell no, I'm not accepting this. The courage to change the things I can, well, that one gave me a little bit more of a trepidation. I'm 56 years old, I'm a grandmother, and I'm extremely introverted. You guys don't know, you can't feel how hard I'm shaking up here right now. So to do confrontation, to fight, just petrified me. I would say that morning I was in full flight or fight mode. The problem with flight is there was no place to run. There was no place to hide. It was everywhere. It was on the news. It was on the radio. It was at work. It was in my family. Everybody was talking about it. I can go home and shut the radio off, turn off the TV, but it would creep into my night and in my nightmares at night, so I wasn't sleeping. And then I heard about the Women's March in Washington. I'm thinking, oh, I can't afford to go there. Then there was a Women's March that sprouted up in Indianapolis, and a kind woman here in church volunteered to take people that had no transportation down there. So I went. I hate crowds. They terrify me. But let me tell you, the yelling at the top of my lungs chants was very cathartic. And one of the speakers that particularly spoke to me was a pastor, and she talked about, just remember that a river is made of teaspoons of water. And she encouraged all of us there to be a teaspoon of resistance. Do what you are able, your energy, your comfort level allowed, and adding it all up, we would become a river. So there were a variety of resistance groups that sprung up, and I found a home with Greater Indivisible. And over the months, magic started to happen. I was able to sleep all the way through the night without nightmares. Peace came back. I was still pissed. But the group gave me channels to channel my anger into productive activities. Made some great friends here. And now the Serenity Prayer brings me solace again. So serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I will never know what my teaspoon of resistance will affect. But that's okay. I accept that, and I will keep on fighting. The courage to change the things I can, I borrow the courage from the members of the group and do what I'm not comfortable doing.
Thanks, Kirsten. That was great. My name is Matt Geyer. Basically, I have a similar story to a lot of people. After 2016, I was like, this isn't right. I've never really been politically involved or active, but I felt like I had to do something. I didn't know what that something was, so I just kept searching around, and I found Indivisible. I went to a couple other groups' meetings, and I was like, this is cool. Like, a bunch of people got together, and they want to do something. We don't know what we're going to do, but we're angry, and we want to do something. And so I kept going to meetings, and we kept, getting the outlines of what we wanted to do, and then we started doing stuff. And I want to tell you, if you don't think that you have the power to do something, you do. And there's a lot of people who think like you and want to make the world a better place. It doesn't have to be with Indivisible. These are just a really great group of people that are doing stuff. There's a bunch of other groups. One of the most gratifying things that I did was the Working Hoosiers Vote Coalition. It's with a bunch of different groups besides ours, and really getting out in our community and meeting new people who have different viewpoints, and it's like you really get involved and invested in the place that you're living. I think, at least for me, I haven't felt that for a long time, and it was really cool to see this. And if you saw, there was a lot of people that, got involved, and you're all here on a snowy day where there's, danger out there. And I just want to say, I encourage you to get involved in any way that you can, be it with us or other ways, because your voice matters, my voice matters, everyone's voice matters, and we can actually do something. So, thanks.
Wow, I'm kind of amazed because sometimes we don't stay as in touch with the state orgs as we want to, and it's just amazing to see all the work that they've done over the past year and a half. I'm Chris Hegarty. I'm the Vice President of Greater Lafayette Indivisible, and I just wanted to talk for a couple of minutes about the work that we've done statewide and in coalition with other organizations. As you saw from the video, one of the things that we're probably best about statewide is registering voters. As a state organization, we registered several hundred, I think about 2,000 people to vote in this last midterm election cycle. And a lot of those voters were from Northwest Indiana and Indianapolis, and those are areas that have real big problems with vote access. So we're really, really happy with the work that Indivisible Northwest Indiana and Indivisible Indianapolis did in order to effectuate those gains. We're also really, really pleased, I think Matt mentioned this earlier, about our work with local organizations and coalition. As many of you know, a lot of our activity over the past couple of years has centered immigrant rights and has centered the rights of people at the border and people who are separated from their families. And I just wanted to call out, I know Margaret's here from GLIA, the great people from Greater Lafayette Immigrant Allies who are here with us. They're all fantastic, really, really worthy organization. Let's see. I know a lot of them were on retreats. Anybody from the Younger Women's Task Force here? Woo! Yeah, Faith is, yeah, awesome. They're on retreat this weekend, so a lot of them can't be here with us, but we really, really appreciate their work, and I'm really, really grateful to them for their guidance in helping our activism. The same goes to our friends at Showing Up for Racial Justice, Surge, who are right there in the back. Woo! It's been really great, in particular working with these 4 groups, because we work together on the Working Hoosiers Vote Coalition. And when we did that, a lot of people, when it comes to canvassing, we talk about going out for candidates and doing things like that. But this wasn't candidate canvassing, this was voter registration and issue canvassing. So we didn't use VAN, we didn't use any of the tools that are usually used to split people up by partisan lean. We just went out into neighborhoods and knocked every single door on the street. So, and we feel like this is a really great way to get back to the basics of talking to the community and finding out what issues are deeply felt by people in the community and finding people who are leaders in the community who can communicate on those issues. So we've been really, really happy and really humbled by the incredible work of partner organizations in Lafayette and statewide. And I really look forward in the next year to working with all these organizations and more to effectuate our shared goals. And I'm just still really, really happy about that video because I hadn't seen it before. Thank you so much for putting that together, Matt. That was just fantastic. Again, from Matt Geyer. I also wanted to say just some gratitude spread around to a lot of the people in the organization who make Indivisible tick. You already know Lisa Dome, our fearless leader, Matt Geyer, our treasurer, Kirsten Reynolds, who is our secretary, and a lot of our members who are in the audience. There's Becky Canine right there, Andy Tucholsky, so we have Rebecca Peters and Bridget Manning Hamilton in here. Yeah. We have Trey and Lauren Gordon. Walter Murphy, where are you at? Walter in here somewhere? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Walter. And I see Susan Doster back there, and so many other people. It's been really, really great working with you over the past couple of years. A lot of people have said it before. A lot of us didn't know what to do when 2016 hit. But over the past couple of years, I'm really, really fortunate to have had your solidarity and your friendship. And thank you all so much for that. So, without any further ado, Ezra, if you're ready to come up, I am ready. I can't spitball much longer. A couple other things really quick. There are a couple other people from organizations I want to recognize really quick. Kathy from Moms Demand Action is with us today. And we have some people from ACLU here with us today. Yeah, hey Vicki. And of course we have some people from Citizens for Civil Rights. I see Mary over there. And Committees for Correspondence, Democracy and Socialism, hey Dog. And let's see, anybody else here? Am I missing anybody? Of course we have Bike Lafayette here and Greater Lafayette Progressives. So give them a hand real quick. Yeah? Thanks so much. And now I'm really happy to introduce the co-founder of the movement, the Indivisible movement, and co-author of the Indivisible Guide, Ezra.